The Honourable Member for North-East.
Thank you, Acting Speaker. My question without notice, I wanted to direct to the Minister for Police, Defence, CIS, but since it's a multiple, all combined together, I would rather ask Prime Minister on this question without notice. My question without notice regarding Black Wednesday on the 7th or 10th January. Destruction caused in the city. A lot of damages in the city, metropolitan city. Can the Prime Minister tell the nation, this Parliament, to provide an update on the progress of the investigation on the Black Wednesday? Number one. Number two, how do you plan to address the issue of payroll glitch that causes the payroll of our public servants in our country? And a lot of public servants are facing hardship on this payroll. Number three, can you elaborate on the measures of our government is taking to address this issue of our soldiers, our policemen, and our CIS stand up to participate in this destruction and demolition in the city? What are the measures that this government is planning to take? Number four, since a lot of damages in the city and a lot of business houses has been affected, so what the government plan to assist the business houses in terms of benefits so that they can rebuild what has been destroyed in our city? Number five, what are the other measures you are going to take those people who are involved? Because in a computer, when what we put in, what we get, the output. So there must be people involved in the payroll glitch. So what are the steps that we are going to take on those people who are involved? Mr. Speaker, with that I want to thank my people of Moresby North-East for not actively involved in destruction in my electorate, because I physically drive around. No glass up, clear glass, everybody sees me. And I wish a lot of members to be like that too. So, my question ends here, but thank you again, the people of Moresby North-East, for understanding and not cause any distraction, because Moresby North-East is heart of the city. Parliament, organization, a lot of commercial areas, industrial areas, it's not affected. Suppose I'm touching, Moresby City is finished. So on that note, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Those are my four questions.
The Honourable Prime Minister.
All right, thank you, Mr. Acting Speaker. Milak Togamamas, member of Moresby North-East. I'll ask him for this question in relation to the ugly Wednesday. Some say Black Wednesday, I call it ugly Wednesday. The unfortunate event that happened on the 10th of January this year. You don't resort to lawlessness to achieve something that you feel is worthy to be pursued. Unfortunately, what happened, certain members of our police force decided not to be at work on the 10th of January because of our pay. Some use the word glitch, but the correct wording is that non-configuration. It was not a systematic glitch up there in the system. Rather, it was non-configuration of the budget documents that we passed last year when we delivered our budgets for 2024. And so, because of this, policemen who felt their salary was not updated, rather they saw a little bit of deduction in their salaries. It reverted back, and needless to repeat, but because this is the first time this question is asked on the floor of Parliament, just to inform everyone formally through the parliamentary questions, I just want to indicate to our country, our government, in respect to the hardships our people are facing as a result of inflation, result of the economy that is not so good out there, we deliberately made intervention to remove tax from the lower income wage earners. The last time a substantial increase was made was by ourselves. 2 years ago, we increased to 17,500. It was increased from earlier threshold that was established almost 10 years ago at 12,500. So from a 12,500 non-tax-paying threshold, it was increased to 17,500 in 2 years. 2 years ago, later increased to again 20,000 last year. And in last year's budget documents for this year, we decided to lock in and make permanent the 20,000 non-tax-paying threshold. Unfortunately, someone at Treasury, Finance, FLC, and even here at the Parliament, from indications of report, the budget bills were not properly progressed, and the imputations of the 20,000 non-tax-paying threshold was not updated, and the system reverted back to the default in the system that was at 12,500. So in the default 12,500 non-tax-paying threshold, around 60 kina worth of what could have been revenue earned as a result of government's tax holiday to our people, that 60 kina was removed, and it went back to the level they were enjoying only 3 years ago. Only 3 years ago, they were operating, or they were earning salary at that level. So the revert went back to the salary they were earning 3 years ago. And since then, we have rebooted the system. I made commitment at the morning when this issue was presented at the gather of police at Unagi Oval. The police minister, or then internal security minister, fronted up at Unagi Oval by himself, assured our police personnel that this pay issue is being addressed or will be addressed, and he gave instructions for them to report to work and go back to work. Unfortunately, those instructions were made in the presence of our city command and metropolitan command, our national capital and central command, our metropolitan command, and every other command, but the command did not restore police back to work for almost the next 6 to 7 hours. And that 6 to 7 hours was sufficient for mayhem to grow in our city. And as a result, we know we have received reports that 480 million kina worth of loss took place in that few hours of mayhem. And I did apologize to our members of our business community, those who are presently facing loss of employment, the business community who are facing loss of business. I want to give assurance to them through this question, as I did this morning in the address to PNG Business Council, Back to Breakfast Business this morning, Back to Breakfast seminar this morning. I did inform them that government has a paper prepared to come to Cabinet. We are almost there. In fact, we were in Cabinet this morning, but time ran out of us for the Cabinet to be concluded. We have moved the Cabinet to Wednesday. And in the Wednesday cabinet, we would have announced, or will be announcing, a package that cabinet will approve, subject to cabinet approval, of course, full assistance package to the business communities who have faced the loss of business, and hopefully in that assistance they could also address Papua New Guineans who are facing loss as a result of not at work or loss of work. I want to also assure the country that the administrative inquiry investigation into this matter is also completed. In the first stage, a report will come to Parliament, to Cabinet also on Wednesday. When the report comes, I'll be able to also make a statement to Parliament on the fullest assessed costs from an administrative perspective and the administrative responses we are taking. But the immediate response we took right away, I think the country knows by now, a couple of responsible department heads were suspended from duty as we went in to have a look at what's happened in finance, treasury, as well as in the police, in terms of the acting commissioner who was watching our police at the time. Furthermore, decisions are to be taken based on the administrative report that is coming in. I want to also indicate police will still be running their criminal investigation to go deeper into what has taken place. It is not going to be like what took place in 2018 when Parliament House was attacked. You must have some level of decorum and respect for institutions of state that will live beyond present leadership. Parliament House will live on and must live on. The seat of government will live on and must live on. If you're not happy with one or two of us, there are other ways to get around the corner. There are other ways to get around the corner. You don't have to break law to achieve what you feel needs to be achieved. Breaking law to settle a dispute is not the way we should be operating in modern Papua New Guinea. Rather, industrial dispute processes and other avenues available for those who feel they have industrial related issues. I want to indicate to all our people that in the investigation that is running, those who have little contribution, if not are not involved in this, needless to fear. It is a process that is running. Cabinet has also, in an earlier decision, we've called for a commission of inquiry by a sitting judge to look into the entire police operation that we have right now. So a commission of inquiry will be headed by a judge. At the moment, our Attorney General is asking our Chief Justice to allocate a judge, and a judge will look into the entire police operation. It was a fall on the leadership of police. It was a fall on the work of police. The 10th of January, instead of working, they decided to be off duty. As a result, the burning and looting took place in certain areas. That is why state feels responsible. State, which is supposed to pay, who's paying the police to be at work. Instead of police working, they were off duty. And our state take it upon ourselves, our responsibility to have assistance and address to those who lost businesses. I want to also thank the greater part of our city. When we talk about the losses, we also forget that big majority of the city were not involved in this mayhem. We forget this. We think everyone is bad. The few who were involved in ransacking certain parts of our city were encouraged by the non-presence of police in those areas. But the same commendations, in the same breath we accuse those who were looting, we must also praise 9 Mile, 8 Mile, downtown, Malaro, Gordons, Boroko, Hohola, Erima, other parts of the city, all the way. That one day, about 10 hours, police was not at work. We have evidence when the command went silent and when command came back to life in police radio. One day, almost 10 hours, police was not at work. While some parts were looting, the citizens of this country came out in defense of their suburb, of their store, of their community. That story is not told properly. I want to thank the citizens of Port Moresby. You respected your municipal leadership, you respected your country leadership, you respected your society, and you protected the society. I want to thank every ordinary Papua New Guineans. When in the first time in the nation's history in Port Moresby, 10 hours, the total police in the city was not at work. Citizens protected their space in our city. And I want to also thank few good policemen who went up and about to try to assist. And police came back to work at 10 o'clock in the night. Around that time, it was almost late in certain areas, but it is what it is. We will investigate, and I want to give commitment to this House. I want to give commitment to our country. We will not allow ill discipline in our police force. We will not allow ill discipline in our defense. We will not allow ill discipline in our CIS. Once you swear oath to defend the state, self-preservation is lost. Simple as that. When you swear oath to defend the state, you have lost self-preservation. The industrial pathways relating to pay issues, don't go to the street, don't go to a protest march. You might lose your salary, you might lose your employment. That is the path we are moving towards. Police Commissioner, Defense Commander, CIS Commissioner has been asked to get all enlisted today to swear an oath again to the state, that state comes first and self comes last. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.